Good evening. I am your IT specialist, Mr. Crone. Once again, we're going to talk about Lee High School's implementation of Google Classroom as our primary learning management software for this year. With Google Classroom is a free learning management system created by Google that allows you to have discussion boards, it has a grading system, rubrics, forms. We'll go into more detail what Google Classroom looks like in a minute. We have some notable relative advantages. On a college level, most of your assignments will be online. Providing students kind of this leverage into a higher education is one of our primary goals as a high school 7 through 12 environment. We want to prepare them for this college environment. It's also accessible. Anybody can use it. It's free. It's available and it's fairly easy to use. It's paperless. No longer will teachers have to constantly print off stuff. This helps us with Title I funding in terms of what we can budget elsewhere. We don't have to spend something like $5,000 to $10,000 a year on paper reams. Communication is an easy and accessible way to communicate any parents. All students can be put in their emails, their phone numbers, all through into Google Classroom. You can provide sorry, this is my cat going. So you can provide students with an accessible form of communication that will allow all your parents to know exactly what they're taking every single week. It's also engaging. Online virtual realities, a lot of activities that can make classroom so much more fun, allow them to be engaged at home and in the classroom just constantly. And it allows for differentiation. You want one student in one spot? Well, another student can be working on something else. You can schedule them at different times for different assignments, without them knowing. They're all working on computers. They're not looking at each other's screens. So they don't know that Bob over here is working on something that your other students do not. So allow us a quick and easy RTI in form of differentiation. So what does a Google Classroom look like? I've created ourselves a Google Classroom. So my goal at the end of this Google Classroom kind of dive is for you to have an understanding of what Google Classroom is, how to set it up, how to use it. So at the start, we're looking at Google Classroom. To create a class, you're going to have to click plus. Sorry about this. You can create a class fairly easily by clicking join or create a class. Create a class will be what your students are using when they pop it up. They'll see this. They won't see this. I'm using my personal email for this. They'll see their own. This is what you will see. You'll create a class, a section, subject, room. This is all what you will see. You'll just put in exactly what you have in a real class. So in your starting class, you're going to need a class code. This is a code you show to your students. So when they click the plus sign, they'll see a join a class. They put in this plus code. All your students will automatically get uploaded once they click on that. They all should have school Gmail accounts as well. I've set all of those up for all of our students. When creating assignments, you can share something just specifically here to actually create units ahead of time, which is, I think, another relative advantage of Google Classroom. You can be working on it in previous weeks, and immediately when your students get on that due date, suddenly they have an assignment. You can do that by creating. You go up to here, create your assignment. When you create your assignment, you can create your title, your instructions. For your grade categories, we have broken it down for you. We all know we should have a homework, project, classroom, and quizzes as part of the expectations for Lee High School. And all of these can be set up by you manually. To do that, you'll go to your settings. Up here, your grade calculation should look just like this. So back to creating the assignment. So for creation of assignment, you're going to first create a topic. I've created learning management systems and starting in Google Classroom. For learning management systems, I have created an assignment for a future week. You can edit that. It's in draft phase. Now you can click assign and all students, or you can differentiate using this. They'll have a list of students here. You can pick the students who need it at a certain time. You can schedule, and then you just tell them when they need it. If you want to start on the 13th, bam, they're going to get it on the 13th. They'll be scheduled. You don't have to do anything at that point. So you can create units ahead of time that they'll never see until they get published by your Google Classroom, which is a unique relative advantage for Google Classroom that allows you to prepare entire units beforehand. You can also create quizzes in this as well, and the same way you go to your quiz, you automatically created a blank Google form, which you can edit and create whatever you want here. This allows you to put in your quiz grade. You again make your due date whenever you want it to be. And then again, you can just schedule, assign quiz. Again, just schedule it for a later date whenever you want it. I went on the 12th. Then suddenly at 8 o'clock a.m., and this would change depending on my classes, I can schedule that. And I'm done. I don't have to think about it in a week or 2 weeks or a month. I can be working on my grades. I can be working on grading a rubric. Speaking of rubrics, you can also create your own rubrics. To create rubrics, you have to go to and here's where you'll see all your students. So you can manually update that and put them in as well through emails if that's your preference. It does take more time and the bear of the work is on you. I'd suggest just adding your students. So that's Google Classroom. It's a really useful learning management system. I've used it for almost all of my classes that I have personally handled. It allows me to communicate. If you need more information about this, please go to supportgoogle.com. They have 2 different links looking at classroom support and different general topics. Looking at LMS training tutorials, I would also suggest if you have never used an online learning management system before, and these links are also very focused on Google Classroom because that is what Lee High School has chose to use. This has been Adam Curlin. I will have all this on my website. Please check it out at Mr. Curlin's class at the Google site. Thank you. Have a good one.